September 21st. A good day to you. Grab a coffee and let's talk about a realistic utopia of a fair society. I didn't mean to dedicate a second day to critiquing the importance neoliberalists put on personal liberties to the point where any other liberties play at best a supporting role to personal freedom and economic prosperity. I did prove sufficiently yesterday that this idea, this school of thought, is neither the basis for a fair society, nor will it ever lead to prosperity for all as they promise. It can't. But after putting my argument onto paper and talking about it excessively, I realized how everything I had just written and said fits the prisoner's dilemma perfectly. In simple terms, the prisoner's dilemma describes a situation where two criminals, in separate interrogation rooms and therefore unable to communicate, must each choose between staying loyal to their partner by refusing to talk, or trying to rescue themselves by throwing the partner under the bus. For this thought experiment, it is assumed that all the police has are suspicions but no incriminating evidence against either, and they will never get the evidence either. So, when both say nothing, when both stay mum, both work free and share the spoils, as it was planned in their contract that they entered before they crimed. Each one gets half. That's what they set out to do. If one of them would incriminate the other, however, the other would go to prison. But the person talking would walk free because there is no evidence that he ever participated, or she. And there would be no need for this person to share the spoils. The talking person would get it all. Like, he would get the cooperation from the partner in the first place to get the spoils, and now he would get all the spoils by himself and didn't have to share, while the other partner goes to prison. But only, and this happens only, if the other person would stay loyal to the original partnership, the original agreement, and would continue to stay mum. If the second person talks as well, because they think the other person will stay mum and loyal to their contract, both lose their freedom and all the spoils. Worst case scenario. Because both of them wanted the best case scenario. If they had just stuck to what they set out to do, they would have gotten what they planned. Okay. Now substitute the two criminals with a group of people coming together to work out an agreement about a data set that all members of a group agree to use henceforth in their individual model of the word generation process in their minds. This data set will enable them to cooperate and thereby offset the high risk that random searches represent for the individual. The motivation of all members to become part of this social contract is the same. They want to engage in random searches, also known lean into the unknown in order to collect the high payoff such searches promise, which they couldn't by themselves because of the high risk these searches represent for an individual, not for a group. It is understood by all, and this data therefore becomes part of a data set all parties to the contract agree to use in their word generation processes, that offsetting the risk can only happen when whatever is gained by any party of a contract while being bound by the contract and who's enabled to conduct their random searches, in other words, exploring rather than exploiting existing knowledge, is shared to the degree that is necessary to enable all to continuously engage in random searches. The first randomized searches based on the security the contract offers are conducted. They start working out the contract. And these randomized searches are conducted by all, secure in the knowledge that they are safe from the high risk these searches would usually represent because they are cooperating. And one member gets lucky. Let's call him Banana King, just for the ease of it. Before they had all gone to spots where they'd found potatoes before to secure their dinners. This is what exploiting of existing knowledge means. You use something that is already known, that potatoes are tasty and healthy and fill you, and you use the knowledge where they are found because you have found them there before, and you go there to pick the potatoes. Now, this one member happens up in bananas, that's why Banana King, and found them tasty and filling as well. He could share not just part of the hoard, but the knowledge of bananas with the rest. And if they generated the model of the world in their minds with the data set the members to the contract had all agree upon, it wouldn't even be a question for Banana King. Everyone then could fall back on potatoes and bananas when the worst case came, but they also could go out even more safely now to conduct random searches to add to this knowledge with, let's say, nuts or apples or pumpkin spice lattes or whatever they happen up in themselves in these randomized searches. They could end up with a whole fruit salad, plus a complete dinner, with a steak maybe. But the Banana King had always ever only thought of the advantage that the cooperation with the others would give him. After all, he too had never been able to engage in random searches alone, no matter how high the payoff they ultimately promised and how much he wanted this payoff. And he had entered this contract in order for him to experience exactly this moment of success. Finding bananas, something new, something that wasn't potatoes. A new solution to their food problem. It only dawned on him now that the contract he had entered had put responsibilities on him. But as he saw it, and I will explain at the end why he sees it like this, he has a choice. He could share the knowledge about the bananas as the agreement demanded, be loyal to the agreement, or keep it all to himself, the knowledge and the bananas. In his mind, the latter would give him all the advantages of both worlds, individual exploitation with the bananas and collective exploration, partaking in the high payoff that others bring in, without the risk or the responsibilities. Hey, great! Perfect scenario! But like in the prisoner's dilemma, each member of a group being successful, and each other member too, but each member of a group being successful would have the same choice. Staying loyal to the contract, with the responsibilities that came with it, even in the case of success, personal success, or just keeping the success for yourself and hoping that you have no responsibilities but a lot of advantages. Banana King would only ever hit the desired jackpot when everyone else in the group stayed loyal to agreement, however. Why? Because all members fulfilling their responsibilities to the group is what allows for the advantage to materialize. No advantage without responsibilities. That's a rule. You can't have a freedom, a liberty, a right, an advantage without the responsibilities, duties, and so on to go with it. Without sharing the success to the agreed upon degree, the risk that random searches represent for the individual isn't offset. Hence, all the members but the one successful would need to go back to exploiting existing knowledge. He would soon too, because his randomized searches have such a high risk because you don't get lucky all the time. But now, with a cooperation agreement in place, he would have to share the meager payoff with everyone else, including Banana King. He would work so he and only he could still go on on the searches they all and had entered the agreement for. Only he has an advantage, even as temporary as it might be. Like in the prisoner's dilemma, none of the members would stay voluntarily in such an agreement under these conditions. They would rather leave and go on back to their separated models of the world, generated in their heads without any cooperation or chance thereof, unless they are from now on forced to continue to use the now burdening data set for the benefit of Banana King. When it comes to society, this will always be the outcome of neoliberalism. The onus placed on personal freedom will always lead to the introduction of violence and the threat thereof into the system, and a whole group burdened for the gain of a few who have all the power. The reason why Banana King would miss the obvious outcome of his behavior, or people like Locke did, the momentary success grants us a sense of power. And Locke was upper class, so he had a sense of power, which messes with our mirroring. It's a process in our brain where basically we use data in the creation that we cut from the tapestry of the world, that we also use in the generation of the representation of another person. And when we stop mirroring, basically we stop using that data we attribute to another in the creation of ourselves. It leads to the belief that others are stupid and lazy. That's why they need rules, but with our own superiority in our sense of power, we don't need it. Don't need them. We don't need to follow them because we don't need rules, because we are so superior to everyone else who's lazy and stupid and needs these rules. But since we know that it is preventable, since we know about mirroring and what interrupts mirroring, what brings us back to the point that society is a constant conversation between all the members to remain on the same page and maintain and adjust the common data set. If that doesn't happen, society will not work out and you will be used. You will have Banana Kings that force you to exploit. Any thoughts? Tell me. You can meet me again tomorrow here as a video, or tonight as a TikTok live when I fix stuffed zucchini with pasta and talk fair society on a TikTok live. Until then, bye.